almost at 9 p.m. But I'll recommend that you guys go to Alapati under performance tuning, SQL tuning. You'll find hints and you can see exactly how to use a hint. It's well explained in there. And I also recommend that you guys read about Oracle Optimizer statistics. So you want to read up about statistics because a lot of performance issues are related to statistics. And depending on what environment you work in, if you have a really busy environment with a lot of changes taking place in the database, you could easily run into stale statistics. And once the statistics become stale, it's like your GPS not being updated, and then it makes your trip longer than it's supposed to be. So for me, I used to use the story of statistics a lot in my interviews. I still use them. I still use the statistics story until today. So if I'm asked about a performance issue I'd face and stuff like that, I always talk about the statistics. So, and the best way to understand that is to read up the statistics in Alapati. And when it comes time for an interview, you can use that as a story. Because what happens is that by default, Oracle you collect statistics during the maintenance window, which is normally from 10 to about 6 a.m., 10 p.m. to about 6 a.m. So any new changes that take place after that maintenance window, Oracle does not update the statistics again. So if you have a database with a lot of changes, let's say you run a deployment script and it made a whole lot of changes, and your statistics become stale because once about 10% of the data in a table becomes, once about 10% or 15% of data in a table changes, then automatically those statistics are stale. And trust me, it makes your SQL perform really poorly. So if that happens because you run a deployment script or you work in a really complex production environment, what you want to do is update those statistics manually, because if you don't update them manually, then it's only going to happen during the maintenance window at night. So instead of waiting for that maintenance window, you want to update the statistics manually. And there is a DBMS stat package that you can use. It's very easy. It's a simple SQL statement. I actually used that at work the other day. I think that was on Friday because I did an export and I decided to exclude statistics during the export, the data pump export and import. So I excluded the statistics, and when it came time for me to do the import, because why I excluded the statistics is because if you have a big export you're doing and you include statistics, it becomes slower. The import will also become slower. So a good way to escape that that performance issue is to run the export and exclude statistics. You just do an exclude equal statistics parameter in there. And after I did the import, I ran the DBMS stat package and it collected fresh statistics. So I manually collected the statistics so that the developer should not run into issues with SQL statements because there are no statistics in there. Because the optimizer uses those statistics to come up with the execution plan. All right. Any other questions?
So is there any way we could write use equality advisor on the command line? This is Hope speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So we're like discussing this last time when we had this class on Sunday. So the question is there any way we could run SQL Tuning Advisor on a command line? Is this something you can teach us right now?
No. So my question for you guys would be, did you guys read the section on SQL Tuning Advisor in Alapati? Or you guys just discussed it without looking? You guys had to look. You guys have to do research. Because if you guys did research on that, you'll find out that it's possible to run the SQL Tuning Advisor, and the steps are in here in Alapati. You guys should try to be solution oriented, because that's what will happen. I've had several issues at work this week because I had to do stuff in a container environment, and I'm not very familiar with containers, so I'm working with containers for the first time in this project. So to do export and imports, we have some databases that are containers, some we don't have containers. So for this container database, to do an export is different. To do imports, different. To configure CDE is different. So everything is different. So I was trying to create a database link. I wasn't able to create it using the same steps that I know in the container. So everything I'm doing research, and I'm seeing all the answers to connect as a schema in a container database instead of just doing connect, justly, password. It's different in a container. If you have to connect as a schema in a container, I only learned on Friday that if you have to do that, the first thing is that you have to add an entry of that particular pluggable in the SQL, in the tnsname.aura file, which is different. Before, and when you run the statement to connect, you have to include the connect statement, the username, the password of that schema you want to connect as, and you have to add the name of the pluggable, which is really different. So what I'm trying to say is that you guys should try to be solution oriented. If you see something and you're doubting, Google. If you cannot, because that's what I do. I've been using Google all even today, and I'm trying to do an encryption. I'm trying to configure encryption in a 12C databases, and I was running some errors. Once we are done right now, I'll go back there. And I went into Google and I'm looking at all this documentation, and I'm getting ideas on how to work around that issue. So try to be more solution-based. Don't just wait to ask the instructor. Actually go to Google. There's a whole lot of information. Just Google how to use the SQL Tuning Advisor, and a whole lot of information will pop up. So get used to that mind frame, because that's exactly what will happen at work. You'll encounter a lot of errors, a lot of issues. And what will save you is just the ability to do research. And nobody can hold you in the neck and say, I want it now. A developer needed to connect as a schema, because I don't need to connect as a schema in my databases, but he needed to connect as a schema. So I told him, I'm not familiar with pluggables, with container databases. So it's every time you need something from me, I'll have to figure out how to do this one. And he's patient, he has to wait. So nobody will hold you in the neck, but you have to be able to research and find that information. So, and in the book, it's there how to connect to how to use the SQL Tuning Advisor. and hope we can do that now because it's already 9 p.m. And I know you guys can do research and find that. So in your session on Sunday, you can do that as well. And meanwhile, I'll let you guys know the plans for next Tuesday. No, next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday we could have a class. It's not a holiday. Holiday ends on it's between Friday and Saturday. So no classes on Saturday because it's July 4th. Except I'm not sure about Christina's because they might have a class. Because they're always having classes. All right. So any other questions? I can direct you guys where to go find resources. All right. No answers, no questions.
No, not for now.
All right, great. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and end the class. And please remember, you are not done with the class yet. The only people who are done with this class are Lamont and Calio. Let's see who else is here. I think I saw James earlier. Probably logged out. He would have told you guys about his first day. So those are the only people who are done with this class because they have jobs. They're just here because they want to learn more. If you don't have a job, you are not done. So make sure you continue religiously with class attendance. Do PowerScript Mondays anytime you can. If you can make time for it every Monday, perfect. And please refrain from just attending stuff. So don't just come to the interview and listen. Try to participate, be active in everything you do. And when you see the CEO challenge, what do I post every day? So when you see the links for the CEO challenge, always try to attend if you can. I know Christian and Christina are always there. Christina Rose. So if you can attend those sessions as well, it's very helpful. The more you learn, the better. And the only way you can test what you're learning is by interviewing, and because you can read and understand everything, but to say it will be so tough. You'll be like, what's going on with me? I thought I read all of this. I thought I understood all of this. So what I would say is that as you're reading, come to the interview sessions and practice so that you're able to walk your way through the entire process. So when you go to an interview, you'll be more confident. You know exactly what you're doing. So this is not the command I use to gather my stats. You don't have to, if you're trying to collect manual statistics, don't expect any results, but it's a pure SQL statement. And once it runs, it tells you that the command was executed successfully. That's not the one I use. That one is not working yet. The one I use is actually shorter. I'll look in my, let me see if I have it here. Let me open my work.
Okay.
I can tell you the command I use. Let me see this here. Let me actually go here. And you can always gather statistics as well on specific tables. If you don't want to gather for the entire database. Once you guys start doing a lot of Googling, you'll start to figure out which sites are best for you to use. Some sites are always better than others. Guys, can you mute yourself? My work computer is acting up. I'm not sure why. Wow. So it's going to take about 3 minutes to log in. I go through a whole lot of steps to log in. So be patient. Okay. Here. Oracle. Manually gotta start. All right, so the command I ran, that's the command. That's the one I ran. Execute dbms underscore stats dot gather dot underscore database. And it's funny because in my interviews, I always talked about it and I'd never run it. So this was actually the first time I ran it last week. When I said it, I actually believed that I ran it. And what I do, I don't know if that's what Lamont does as well with Kali. Once you start working, every time you do something, always do a documentation and save it. Because the next time you want to do that same thing, you might not remember the steps again. And you don't want to waste time doing Google search. So always just make sure you're saving all your documentations. Yeah, it takes a while to gather the stats.
I just want to go over what you said. You said by default, Oracle collects stats during maintenance during the maintenance window. Any new changes that take place. Wow. Okay,
After,
I can't read my handwriting.
so I wanted to go into Alapati and read about that.
Yeah.
So it collects, by default, it collects statistics during the maintenance window, and that's usually between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning. So any changes that take place after that window. So if there were changes that, if you run a script, a deployment script, or if you make changes between the hours of 6:15 all the way to whatever time, those changes will not be included in your statistics that have been gathered. So if you make changes in the table, that are more than 10%, the statistics in that table automatically become stale. So that could significantly affect your SQL performance. So it could affect your query performance, and in order to fix that, you run this DBMS stat package. This is a pure SQL package. So the whole story behind it is more interesting than just a statement. Look at how short the statement is. And it's the same statement in, so I use 12C, the same statement. This is my first time actually configuring TDE in 12C. It's kind of different from 11. It's not too different, but then for 12C, first of course, we'll go to the SQL node.org file at the location of our wallet. And to create a wallet in 12C is actually a SQL statement that you run.
Oh.
Yes, it's a SQL statement that you run to create the wallet. And the wallet in 12C is not called the wallet, it's called the key store. Still running. So do you guys want to watch this thing run, or you want to?
Is it because I didn't exclude? I didn't do the exclude statistics clause?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Mine took a while to run as well, but mine probably took longer because I was collecting. I had no statistics prior to running the package. Prior to executing the package. Right, so while I'm doing this, this stop. Right. Oh, it's taking forever. You're having some performance issues there. Okay. So,
Well, congratulations, Valeria. I know you're happy to be done.
oh, I saw your comment on LinkedIn.
I thought you were gonna talk about it today.
I know. I was so happy though. Finally.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to share it on LinkedIn.
Did you have how did they do it, like try to do a graduation?
No, so they are not quite sure yet. So they have me for the commencement in December. But
Okay.
we are not sure whether it's going to be virtual or in person. So it all depends on what the virus is doing at that time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So whatever the case, I would have loved to celebrate this because I worked really hard for it, but I'll still celebrate.
Definitely. Like a weight is lifted.
Yes, yes. So I've been chilling for the past 2 weeks, but then I have to start working on my sets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my vacation will be over soon.
Wait, are you gonna go for the CISSP?
That will be the second. So I have 2 security sets that I want. I want to take the CISA. I'll take the CISA first because that one is more cyber. CISSP is amazing. It involves so many different aspects of cyber security. Or not only cyber itself, but just information systems. But the CISA one it's more hands-on. It's more of the technical part of it. It's more technical. Yeah. So if you want to have like a cyber job, then that's the one you should be taking. So I have 2 of them. I've registered for courses on Udemy for those 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do the self-training thing in Udemy. So I want to do CISA first. I'm hoping to have the CISA by December, and then I do the CISSP early next year.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Then once I'm done, I can go look for a job with the government.
Yeah. My dad's retiring. So he's a IT security specialist for HUD.
Oh, he works for the government?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. It's fun when you retire from the government. It's really cool because you still get a whole big paycheck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm aiming for the government. That's nice.
That's a big deal. So very congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I don't know if it's Hope or Christian. Oh, it's Hope. Thanks, Hope. My dad
Yeah,
actually sent me a song.
congratulations. You are hiding it.
No, I was